Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you 7 non-toxic swaps that you can make in your home to decrease your exposure to toxins. If you guys are new around here, welcome. My name is Becca. I'm a registered dietitian. I'm obviously very passionate about nutrition and healthy eating, but I'm also very passionate about natural living as well. It is actually my focus on nutrition and passion really for eating real nutrient-dense food that kind of led me down a path to be more cognizant of the products I was using in my home, around my family and on myself. It was probably like close to 6 years ago now, 5.5 years ago or so, that I kind of had this realization of, I'm very conscious of the ingredients that are in my food. I read labels. I'm not, a perfectionist by any means. There's always room for balance. But I was very cognizant of what I was eating and I wanted to be fueling my body with good ingredients. But it dawned on me, maybe I should also pay attention to the ingredients that are going on my body, because anything that is, you're putting on or you're breathing in, anything that's coming in contact with you, you are actually absorbing. Most of it is getting absorbed into your bloodstream and therefore into your body. And there is, unfortunately, especially here in the US, so many toxic ingredients. It's actually incredibly overwhelming when you first start looking into all of this. But I'm here to share with you 7 things that you can focus on in your home. Take it one step at a time. Baby steps will make a huge impact over time, and this is absolutely not something that you need to do overnight. I remember feeling really shocked and overwhelmed when I started to look more deeply at the products I was using. I used the Think Dirty app years ago. The EWG Skin Deep database is also really good for personal care products. There is so much out there that is toxic, unfortunately. It can affect things like our hormones. That's a big one. It can be, there's so many endocrine disruptors in conventional products, increase our cancer risk. It can mess with our lungs. It can cause allergies. It can just do a lot of harm. And when, your body is experiencing this toxic load all the time, it's obviously going to interfere with your normal bodily processes and functions. And we can handle a little bit, okay? You don't need to go full purist, I can't be exposed to anything or I'm gonna get cancer. You don't need to go that extreme with it. We have, for example, glutathione is one of our main, ways in our body to detox certain toxins that come in and safely repackage them and excrete them to keep our body safe and keep our body protected. But it's more so an issue when you have an accumulation of all of these toxins and your body can no longer keep up to keep everything safe and healthy inside. So let's start with the very first thing, and that is ditching all of the fragrance candles, all of the plugins, the Febreze, all of that scent stuff, melted wax and all of that scent stuff. Get rid of all of it. And if you want a healthier replacement, if you still want the smells, if you want to be able to freshen up your home or make it smell cozy and inviting, smells are so important to creating a vibe and setting the tone and making your house a really inviting, welcoming place. Instead, what you can do and what I do is use diffusers. Hey guys, I just wanted to take a real quick second to share with you how you can shop my favorite essential oils and also non-toxic products. So if you are totally new to Young Living, I would highly recommend grabbing a starter bundle. I love the just essential oils premium starter bundle, and I also love the Thieves home cleaning bundle. But there is also skincare products. There is stuff for kids. There's other personal care products. There are supplements. You really can get so many of your everyday staple products through Young Living. I love so much that they source all of their own essential oils and distill them themselves on their own farms and source all of these oils and ingredients for their products themselves. They just have such a high commitment to quality, and you can see on their website all of the different farms that they have. You can almost take a virtual tour, but you can even go visit these farms yourself in person. And just like any other website, you can just place a regular old order, but there is also this option for a loyalty order. And this is a no-brainer. If you plan to try new oils or just restock things that you like to use,
you definitely want to be ordering on loyalty because you're going to get points back on all of those purchases, which you can turn around and use as store credit. These products and these oils especially have changed my life in so many ways. I use them every single day and highly recommend them. I will have a link down in the description box below if you want to start shopping and place your first order.
I have been using diffusers or diffusing essential oils every day for about almost 6 years now. There's one behind me that's always in my kitchen. We have them all over our house, and they are such a huge part of like my daily life. Whenever we go like on a trip or maybe there's a couple days that I just like for some reason don't get the diffusers going, life just feels very stale, and I'm like, what is missing? Like something is off, and it's just because I don't have the good smells going. And you can use oils to make your house smell amazing. Everything from like citrusy and fresh to like invigorating with like minty, like peppermint or spearmint, to like those really cozy like fall, like Christmas type scents that, you know, are just kind of like, you know, aromas of the season that are very nostalgic. You can do all of that with oils. And the reason you don't want to be using fragrance for those is because fragrance is a very, it's not an ingredient. It is actually an umbrella term for any combination of, I think it's like around 3,000 ingredients that can make up a signature scent. So the FDA actually defines fragrance as a combination of chemicals used to create a signature scent. And many years ago, this term fragrance was kind of created originally to help out businesses who had signature scents in their products so that they could keep those as a trade secret. So if you think of something like Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo, everybody recognizes that smell. And if they had to list out exactly what, you know, chemicals they're using to craft that scent on the label, then any company could go and create an identical scent and sell essentially an identical product. So it was started, this fragrance term was started or created to protect businesses and their trade secrets. But unfortunately, there's it's like a list of about 3,000 chemicals that can be used in any combination you want to craft a signature scent, and you don't have to disclose what ingredients were used from that list. Now the problem is a lot of these ingredients have never been tested for safety. A lot of them are linked to, you know, hormone disruption and cancer and other you know, really terrible outcomes. But also, if you know anything about organic chemistry, when you start putting chemical constituents together, they will create new chemical constituents. They will behave differently, or they may have different side effects, and we have no way of knowing what was put together. We cannot research what's in there. We, as consumers, we're totally in the dark about what was used to craft that fragrance, and knowing that a lot of them are linked to things like cancer and hormone disruption and asthma and allergies and all of this. It's kind of like just avoid it completely because you just don't know, and there's no way of knowing because the businesses are protected and they don't have to tell you what's in them. And you guys used to have candles. I used to go to Bath and Body Works. If you go like deep on my Instagram, you'll find like photos of me with like, yay, I just got my fall candles, like so excited. I get that it's fun, it's seasonal. Everybody likes good smells in their home, but what I didn't really like fully realize at the time, they would give me such bad headaches. Every time I lit a candle, I would get a headache to where I'd always have to blow it out because it was just like, okay, well, I'm really getting a headache from this, so I'm gonna have to stop. But I kept buying the candles anyway. So that was just one way where clearly my body was like not happy about this fragrance. It was like rejecting it. Something was, you know, misfiring in my body that was creating this headache. So that was, you know, one of the first things that kind of tipped me off. But once you stop using fragrance, you will start to realize just how powerful it is. You'll be able to smell someone's like perfume or, you know, their laundry detergent, or if you go into someone's house where they're burning a candle, you'll be able to smell it from like miles away. It is insane how powerful those things are. And one of the reasons they're super powerful is because they have phthalates in them, which make the fragrance powerful, make the fragrance last, and they're very toxic. So fragrances, especially, you know, if you're using candles, if you're using plugins, if you're using air fresheners, things like that, get rid of them. And instead you can diffuse with oils, totally natural, not going to mess with your body as long as they're genuine essential oils. And you can still create all those same cozy, lovely, fresh, whatever aromas in your home. Number 2 is ditching your toxic cleaning products and instead using a safe all-purpose cleaner. So what I use is Thieves Cleaner. I have been using this for, again, 5-6 years or so, and it is like one of my favorite all-time products. So this bottle is like a concentrate. So you take 1 capful of this and you put it in a big 16-ounce spray bottle, and then you fill it with water, and that is a bottle of all-purpose cleaner. So I think this is around like $25 or so, and it makes like around 30 bottles of cleaner or so. So actually, it's very economical. You're buying less bottles. You can reuse these over and over and over. It takes 2 seconds to fill it up. And this is what I use all over my house. So I use it on everything, like literally everything. So countertops, if I'm wiping down appliances, if I'm wiping down windows or mirrors, I use it to clean door handles. I use it to clean, wipe down remotes. You could wipe down baby toys with this. Like, it is very safe, but it's also very, very effective. You can spray this all over a crusty oven and it will literally wipe right up. I once left a paintbrush with like polyurethane, which you know is like a clear top coat when you're painting things like furniture. I left it on our countertop in our old house, which was granite, accidentally let it dry, oopsie, and was like, oh boy. And I honestly doubted my Thieves Cleaner. I was like, you know, I love my Thieves Cleaner, but I think I might need like a heavy duty toxic something to get this up. Literally sprayed Thieves Cleaner, like the diluted Thieves Cleaner, all over it. I let it sit for 5 minutes. It literally wiped right off the counter. This stuff is so powerful, but it is not toxic. I used to be of the belief, you know, my mom raised me on like bleach and Clorox, and that is the only way to get a thorough clean, and that is truly what I believe for a long time. But I can tell you that that is not the case. You don't have to use the harsh stuff in order to get a deep clean. And my mom has even completely converted to away from her Clorox wipes and her Clorox spray and all the bleach. She literally doesn't even have it in her house anymore. She uses Thieves Cleaner. So that to me is like, if she can switch, then I know that it works, because let me tell you, that lady loves some bleach. And the beauty of this is I used to have an entire closet full of all different types of cleaners. So like I had, you know, a countertop spray, I had a tub and tile cleaner, I had a wood floor cleaner, I had a window spray, I had carpet cleaner, I had a stain remover, all of those things, like bottles upon bottles upon bottles. And now literally they're all gone, and this is what I use. I spray this on stains, if there's something that gets on the carpet, like literally everything. My toddler dumped an entire green smoothie that was probably like a ridiculous amount of money, and I didn't even get one sip. The whole thing got dumped on our rug in our family room. And again, I was like, I don't know if Thieves Cleaner is gonna get this up. I wiped it all off, sprayed it down with Thieves Cleaner, literally like there's not even a stain. This stuff works so incredibly well. I sing its praises all day long. It's very economical, completely safe, and it has like a nice, it kind of smells like, it's like warm and spicy, but it's not overpowering. We do have the most amazing cleaning ladies that come to our house twice a month, and they use Thieves. This is all they use on our whole house. And when they clean the whole house top to bottom, it just barely smells like Thieves. So if you're worried about it being overpowering, it's not. All right, number 3 is your laundry products. This is a really big one because laundry products tend to be the most toxic products that you have under your roof. And when you think about it, you are wearing clothing, you are sleeping in sheets, wearing pajamas, whatever it is, 24/7 around the clock, you are, you know, being exposed to the chemicals that your clothes were washed in. And just, you know, we were just talking about fragrance. We all know that most laundry detergents, conventional ones, have really powerful fragrances. In fact, that's a huge selling point. You see on the commercials, it's like 12 weeks later, we smell the towels and they still smell spring fresh. That is actually a really bad thing, because that means those fragrances are very powerful. They are filled with phthalates, and that is really going to mess with your body, especially as women. I've done a video where I talked about how I balanced my hormones naturally, and I talked a lot about xenoestrogens. These are, you know, chemicals found in fragrances mostly, but also other conventional products that mimic estrogen. They are almost identical in chemical structure, and when they are introduced into our bodies actually recognize them as estrogen. So we end up having these really artificially inflated levels of estrogen, which have a whole host of negative side effects throughout our body. Now, there are, of course, conventional laundry detergents that don't contain fragrance, which is a better option, but they still contain something called SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate, which is a foaming agent. They typically contain optical brighteners, that's another big one, along with other ingredients that are harmful to our bodies. So just because they don't have fragrance in them doesn't necessarily mean that they are safe or a good product that's not going to be introducing a toxic load to your system. So I'll share what I switched to and what I use instead. So just like my Thieves Cleaner, I use the Thieves laundry soap. I've used this for many years now. It is the only thing I use on, you know, my clothes, my kids' clothes, baby clothes. I definitely don't use any of that Drift stuff that is filled with fragrance. It like actually breaks my heart that that's marketed towards like newborns and babies because it's very toxic. So this is what I use instead. It's a small bottle, but like the Thieves Cleaner, it's a concentrate as well. So I use about 1/4 of a capful for a normal load of laundry. So this gives me, I think it says 64 loads. It's 6 times ultra concentrated, and it's free from SLS, dyes, petrochemicals, formaldehyde, phosphate, synthetic perfume, optical brighteners. It's a very clean laundry detergent, and I have had no problem with our clothes, for using this to clean our clothes for all of these years. We do live on a farm, things get muddy and dirty, you know, and this has fit the bill. It's done a good job. I have no complaints about it. If we have stains, I usually spray them with Thieves Cleaner. I also use a little bit of, I love the Thieves dish soap, which I'll get to that more in a minute, but I use that to treat stains. I don't buy like Shout or any of that I know I grew up with my mom using. And then, so that's what we use to treat stains and actually clean our clothes. To make them smell good, we do use dryer balls and we put oils on them. I grabbed lemongrass is probably my favorite, most used oil I use on dryer balls for our laundry. It will make them smell good. It's not going to be as powerful as the conventional laundry detergents or the scent things that you put in there. And that's a good thing. Okay, that's a good thing because it means it's coming from natural sources. It's not rich in phthalates that is going to mess with your body. You don't actually want that. And I know it can be like a hard transition to get away from that. I hear so many women are like, I can do it, but my husband is so attached to it, which is so funny to me. Guys tend to be weird about things like that. But I will tell you that once you stop using it, you cut out all the fragrances, you will literally never be able to go back because you will see how intensely strong they are and how quickly you get a headache and how much it actually lasts on your skin. Like I've gotten hand-me-downs from people, and like literally just trying them on, I can for like 30 seconds, I then smell that scent on me all day, which is just insane to me. And of course, it's almost like impossible to get that smell out of clothes because it's just that powerful. The other thing that I do love for laundry is, this is called Molly Suds. It's her Oxygen Whitener, and I use this instead of bleach because when you're not using conventional detergent, your whites will get dull because they don't have those brightening agents in there. And obviously you're probably not bleaching things either. So this is what I use to help whiten whites. You put it on like a soak cycle with this in there, and it just helps to brighten. It really does work to brighten up whites. It's not bleach, but it does brighten them. And then of course the other huge natural hack, which is incredible, is laying your clothes out in the sunshine. We have a clothesline that we pin stuff up on, and it does an incredible job of not only lightening stains, but also brightening whites as well. Okay, so next is what we use for our dishes. So I did mention Thieves dish soap. Again, this one's almost out. I have another one over here too. We love our Thieves dish soap. This is, again, we've been using this for many years now, and it is a very clean option. It's free from SLS, dyes, SLES, formaldehyde, phosphates, and synthetic perfume. It literally says on here, for external use only, if swallowed, drink plenty of water to dilute. So no one's calling poison control over swallowing the soap by accident. It's never happened in my house. Hopefully it never does. But if it does, we know that we are not, we didn't just swallow something that's like potentially poisonous. It is very mild, it's safe, it's, it's plant-based. And I love that we are cleaning our dishes with this, because if there's anything left over on the dishes, and then we're eating food off of those dishes, it's nice to know that that it's a very clean product. So that's what we use for like washing dishes in the sink. And then as for our dishwasher, we use these E-Cover Zero. It's the zero fragrance dishwasher tabs, and we just pop these in our dishwasher. These work super well. We've used these for a long time too. We used to use the Thieves, they have a dishwasher powder, but once we moved to this house and we were on well water, it's just our water is just more hard. I don't know how you say that. And it just didn't work as well. But when we were on public water, that stuff worked great. But since then we've switched to this, and this seems to work better for us now. And you can buy these on Amazon. They're very affordable. I love those. Okay, so number 5 is swapping out any plastic Tupperware that you have with glass containers. So you can buy like a set of these. Ones are Pyrex, and they're very thick, they're very heavy duty. I've had these since we got married, I'm pretty sure, which is coming up on 7 years, which is crazy. Anyway, so we use these for storing food in our refrigerator instead of using plastic. We also love using mason jars. I've got mason jars of all sizes that we store a lot of things in. If you are buying like big cans of spaghetti sauce, save those, take the label off. If you can't get the sticky stuff off, lemon oil is really great for that, and reuse them. They're incredible for storing food, and they're totally safe. They're not going to be leaching any chemicals into your food if they're sitting in plastic, and especially if you're going to heat up food, like microwave something, you do not want to be microwaving in plastic. It's one of the worst things that you can do. You want to be sure that you're using glass. So these are a great investment. They will last you a long time. My kids even sometimes get into the cabinet where these are, and they play with them, and they've never broken. Before I can put a stop to it. So love those instead of plastic. I should also mention too, like the same goes for cooking utensils. A lot of cooking utensils like spatulas and ladles and things like that are available in plastic versions, and I actually used to have those. When we first got married, that was what was on my registry, but then I learned that is a total no-no, really, because if you're putting, think a plastic ladle into hot soup, it's going to be leaching chemicals into that soup. If you are cooking scrambled eggs on a hot frying pan where the plastic is literally melting, I probably should have known better. That is also leaching chemicals into your food. So along with using glass things to store your food in, it's also a good idea to not use plastic utensils. And along the lines of cooking, what you use to cook your food in also matters too. So I think most people nowadays know that non-stick pans that are made from Teflon are not a good idea, that they are going to be leaching chemicals into your food, and that they are best to just completely be avoided. There are some non-stick pans, like I know Caraway, things like that, that are a much like a safe version of that. But just straight up Teflon is just not something that you want in your kitchen, or anything that's like non-stick like that. That's not a safer alternative. I would just totally get rid of in your kitchen and just replace as soon as possible for you. And what I use instead is just cast iron. So this is a cast iron skillet. These are super affordable. It's the Lodge one. You can get this on Amazon. I've had the same one for many years now. I don't even know, many years, but we use the same one over and over. I also have a Le Creuset one as well that's smaller, and we use both interchangeably. The Le Creuset one is a little bit nicer, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily worth spending extra money on, in my opinion, for just a skillet. I really like this Lodge one, and we use that to cook pretty much everything on the stovetop. And then if we need a pot, we use an enameled cast iron pot instead of like a non-stick pot. So this is what we use if we need to cook, like soup or, basically anything you need a big pot for. You could also use stainless steel. I don't have any stainless steel ones just because I have these. I have a few of these that I use instead, and so I've just never, I try and keep my kitchen items minimal, but that's also a great option as well. And we use this for I use these for baking bread, for roasting, for cooking soups on the stovetop. They're very versatile. And this is also the same Lodge brand that you can get on Amazon, and I really like this one. Now, the seventh and final swap that you can make is using a water filter in your house instead of just, you know, drinking the tap water. Now, you can get like whole house water filtration systems, which are amazing. I've never had one. I would love to get one in the future, but what we have right now is something we use to filter our drinking water, and that is our Berkey water filter. So the thing with water, especially if you are on public water, we have well water here, which is definitely a little bit better, but that doesn't mean that there can't be contaminants in it. But water can have all sorts of different contaminants. So it could have chlorine, it could have like pharmaceutical, like, you know, contaminants. There could be BPAs, there could be like pathogenic bacteria, there could be pesticides, there could be heavy metals. There's just a lot that could be present in your water. And if you're not filtering them out and you are drinking that water, that's obviously getting into your body as well. So that could be a definite source of toxin exposure. So we have a Berkey, we love it. We've had it for a few years and I have no complaints. Obviously you do have to fill it up. So it's not, you know, always at the ready, like if you had a whole house system, but it is pretty easy to fill up, and I like to do it at night before we go to bed, so that way the next morning it is all drained through and we are set for the day with plenty of drinking water. So it does filter out all of those contaminants, but what's important is it does leave the minerals behind. So water naturally contains minerals, so like magnesium or sodium, potassium, zinc, iron. These are naturally present and you want them to be in there because all of those minerals are great to help nourish our bodies. We need those minerals to carry out so many different functions. So if it's in something like water, which you're going to be drinking anyway, you don't necessarily want it to be taken out. You might as well be getting those minerals. So I love that the Berkey gets rid of the stuff that I don't want in my water, but it does also leave the good stuff, which are the minerals. The taste of Berkey water is just so good. If you drink tap water and then you drink Berkey water, you're like, wow, yes, this is definitely doing something. It just tastes so like clean and crisp, and you can just tell that there is like nothing funky in there that is not supposed to be in there. Okay, so those are my 7 areas where you can ditch and switch or, you know, swap to non-toxic or healthier alternatives in your home. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but it is an excellent place to start. There is plenty here where you can make some major change in your household, which is going to have major impacts on the health of you and your family. And again, if any of this information is overwhelming to you, know that A, you're not alone, because I felt that way too, but B, you do not have to make these changes rapidly, okay? Any change that you make in any of these departments and is something that you're going to continue is going to have massive impacts in the long run. So this is not something you need to, you know, get stressed and anxious about, because that is not good for your health either. But it is something, you have tangible things that you can now focus on. So maybe just take it one area at a time and slowly make changes as products run out. Instead of replacing it with the conventional option you usually go for, use a non-toxic version instead. It can be something that's done really gradually. It doesn't have to be this quick, expensive endeavor. And do keep in mind that we can handle, our bodies are equipped to handle toxins. We are just not able to handle the toxic load that most people are exposed to nowadays. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but making some changes in this area is going to have long-term, very powerful, positive impacts on your health. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will link all of this stuff down below that I mentioned if you want to purchase any of this as part of your swapping. If you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe and join my little community here on YouTube. And of course, please leave me a comment down below of videos that you would like to see from me next, because I love hearing from you guys. Your feedback is super helpful to me, and I obviously want to make videos that you want to watch. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. And I have these, so there's no reason for me to go like, Jesus. Oh my God. I thought that was a bug. Oh, Lord help me.